Do you remember in November when I took 43 redwigger hatchlings from my harvested castings? Would you like to see how they're doing now? So we took them out and started this bin on November 19th, 2021. So let's see how they're doing. And you might notice that I have a lot of shredded paper on the top of this bin that is very dry. And that is because I came in here yesterday and noticed that the bin was too moist. So I added the dried paper to the top. So now we're going to go through the bin and we're going to see how those worms are doing. So let's see if this bin was started on November 19th. It means that this bin is, oh, before we even go further, I just saw a cocoon. Can you see it? Yes, so we have progress. So I'm not going to be going through these. Oh, maybe I should. Let's do that. We want to find all those worms. We want to see how many out of those 43 worms are in here, how well they're doing, what's going on with them. So I'm going to be going through this with a fine teeth comb. I'm seeing a lot of tiny white things, and I'm not sure, little greeny looking things. I'm not sure if that is mite, eggs, but whatever it is, there are tons of them in here. Okay, and I think it is because my bin is too moist. So you can see the amount of them, right? All those are the brown things you're looking at there. That's what they are. So we're definitely gonna have to dry this bin out. So I didn't want to mix in the paper yesterday because, for one, I wanted to do this video today and I didn't want to disturb the bin. So we have our first worm. We have right there our second cocoon. We have right there our third cocoon. Oh, this is exciting. Apart from these mites that I'm gonna have to get rid of as quickly as is possible. Can't afford to have them in here. I hope I won't be finding a lot of potworms, and as soon as I say that, I'm noticing a few potworms there. So we're searching for worms and we're searching for cocoons. And right there is another cocoon. Well, because this material is so wet, it's hard to get the cocoons off my hand. So we are at one worm and 4 cocoons. I'm glad I don't have a lot of material in here with it being this soggy and all, I don't really want to have to be handling it. Okay. So they still have a lot of food. Yes, they still have a lot of food. But I'm not finding, excuse me, I'm not finding a lot of worms around the food, which could be because of how soggy it is and mushy. I'm not smelling anything, but then who knows? Here we have another cocoon, that's 5. My little guys are working hard. I haven't seen any babies. We have our second worm. And look at this guy. This is his clitellum right here. And right there on his head is bulky. Hey, I'm trying to show something. Be quiet. Stay still. They want to see. So his head right there is bulky. And then his clitellum is bulky. So it would appear as if this guy is about to lay a cocoon. And then he has another one in his clitellum. So that's awesome. So 2 worms and 5 cocoons so far. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting into all these worms. Oh, this one is the same. Clitellum and a fat head. Nice. That's 3 worms, and this one is the same as well. Clitellum and a fat head. This is exciting. So that's 4 worms and 5 cocoons. I am still not seeing any hatchlings yet. And another one with a cocoon in his head. I don't know if you can see that light color right there by my finger. And then his clitellum is down here. So these guys are not wasting any time, are they? They mean business. And I like it. So 5 cocoons, 5 worms. Oh, all of these guys seem to be in the same state except for the first one. Cocoon in the head. 6 worms. And a fat clitellum. This one is kind of small. And I'm not seeing sign of a clitellum yet. So 6 worms. By now, they should all be adults from the time they were in here, because the 19th of January was 61 days since I started this bin. And I see another cocoon right here. So we have 6 cocoons and 6 worms. Well, make that 7 worms. And he's in the same state as the others. 8 worms, 9 worms, 10 worms, 10 worms and 6 cocoons so far. Definitely need to dry out this bin. I didn't realize it was getting so wet. Okay, 10 worms. And so far none of the 10 worms that, none of the cocoons that I've seen aren't orange in color. 11, 12 worms. Yes, none of the cocoons I've seen are orange in color, and I am not seeing any hatchlings. Oh, let's see you. What are you? Are you an hatchling? This looks like an hatchling with a good size too. Awesome. That's 13. We're still at 6 cocoons. 14. 'We have an, oops, it fell. Maybe I'll find it later. Oh, there's another one somewhere here. Come on, don't hide from me. I don't know where it went. Must have fallen off my hand. Too bad. Hopefully I'll find it too. So we're still sticking to the 6 cocoons and the 13 worms. We are about halfway there. Maybe I should make this smaller. I'll have more control. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 'Ooh, yeah, finally we're past the 6 mark. 7 cocoons. and 18 worms. So many of these pests eggs. Okay, number 2. We are at our 8th cocoon. And I saw another one somewhere here. Oh well, I will find it later. So 8 cocoons. 18 worms, okay. 9 cocoons. And 10 cocoons. This one is getting a bit dark. Ten cocoons, 18 worms. Ooh, so this is where they're congregating, eh? 19, 20. Now this one you may be able to see better the cocoon in his head, and then his scutellum right there. So that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 23, and the 11th cocoon. So tomorrow we'll actually make 10 weeks since we, oh, there's another cocoon there, right there. 11 cocoons, 12 cocoons. It's gonna make, tomorrow's gonna make 10 weeks since we started this bin. It takes 7 weeks for red wigglers to reach maturity. And after they reach maturity, they start mating right away once they have another mature adult to mate with. They don't waste time. And it takes 3 weeks for the cocoons to develop within them. And after laying the cocoons, it takes 3 weeks for the cocoons to hatch. So we saw so far, out of the 23 worms, 2 that look rather young. One looked close to adulthood, so that may have been the youngest hatchling that I took out of that castings. But as for the very small one, I don't know what's his story. "24. It's a small adult. Ooh, where did you go? Don't run away. 25. Are we gonna find 43? Are we gonna find more than 43? Are we gonna find less than 43? What do you think? Come on, cocoon, I see you in here. So we have 14. And we are coming close to the end of the material in this bin. But usually when you reach the end, that's when you find a lot of worms congregating there. 25, 26, 'I see you, don't hide. 27, this one seems kind of small too. Not too far from adulthood, but small anyway. Oh, did I say 25? I said 25. Did I say 26? Alright, let's call that 27. When I'm editing, I will correct the number. "14 cocoons, 27 worms." "28 worms." "29. 30. 31. 32. We have 15 cocoons. "31 worms, 15 cocoons." So 50% of the worms that I've found so far have produced cocoons for me. Will we find the 43? 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. Let's see if we can find any cocoons in here. Okay, so that's it. 15 cocoons, 39 worms. So we started off with 43 worms, so we lost 4 of our worms, 4 of our hatchlings. We have 39, so that's not bad. And we have 15 cocoons. And as I mentioned before, this experiment is just a day short of 10 weeks. These are the 39 worms. Maybe I should put them aside first. I'm going to replace the material they had. And then I'm going to put the dried leaves in there too. "39 worms, 15 cocoons." So at the 10 weeks interval, it would mean that 7 out of those 10 weeks they were growing to maturity. That leaves them with 3 weeks to mate and start laying the eggs. And then they have 1 week to spare. It takes 3 weeks for these cocoons to hatch. So we're going to see in another 2 weeks if these cocoons are actually going to start hatching. So look at that. 39 worms, well 43 that I took out, that would have just gone in my castings, and probably they would have died in the castings, because if they are in there long enough eating away and they have consumed all of the residue of the food scraps that is in the castings, then chances are they could have died. of hunger. So all of that would just go to waste. So I've just rescued 43 hatchlings, and as a result of doing so, I have 15 cocoons. And as you saw, most of the worms here, the vast majority of them, were at that point where they are preparing to lay their cocoons. We saw that from their bulky heads. All of that could have gone to waste. Now, if you are someone who is living in a region where you cannot find someone to sell you red wigglers, and you were able to find these 15 cocoons or these 39 worms, you would have been able to start your army of worms. So these are the cocoons. So if you have the time and the patience to do so, my recommendation is to bait those hatchlings out of your cocoons. You can either put them back in your worm bin or you can start a new bin with them. It will be interesting to see how well those bins perform. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting back these cocoons in the bin. This one is changing color and it is sticking to my hand. It is getting pointy. It's almost as if something is trying to come out of it. But from my experience, these little guys are selfish where I'm concerned. If I touch their cocoons, even if I hold it in my hand for an hour later, they are not coming out. Once I disturb them, they just pull right back in. So I've never been fortunate enough to see my own cocoons hatch. I've only seen them starting to hatch and then they go back in. Anyway, if you enjoy this video, you find it informative, and you would like to see more updates on how this cocoon or hatchling bin is doing, then please take a moment to give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification for more updates like these. Thank you so much for watching. And have yourself a wonderful day. Yeah man, time for grow.